have a question over here, and go ahead, ask a question.
Do you think there should be a residency requirement for police officers?
That's a good question. I think, I don't know, do I go first? That's a very good question. I would imagine that if there was, I would like to see more of our police officers live in New Rochelle. I know we have a very high percentage of our firemen live in New Rochelle, so they feel the pain. I think if we can get a handle on this workforce housing and affordable housing here in New Rochelle, that the police officers could afford it, I would like definitely to see more police officers living in the city so they can interact. They work here, they deal with the people, and then they go home and they leave everything behind. They leave the connection behind. I think if they lived here, they would feel more of a personal connection, and they would be interacting even on their time off with the communities, and I think it could do nothing but benefit New Rochelle and the police department.
Mr. Rice.
Yeah, I think it would be a great idea for the police officers to be residents of New Rochelle. Unfortunately, when you look at reality, New Rochelle is pretty expensive, and it's not easy for everybody to afford to live in New Rochelle, to buy a home in New Rochelle, and a lot of people who do want to be homeowners. The reason why it would be good is because when you look at the police in relation to the African American communities, there's a huge level of distrust. I think that by having New Rochelle residents, not people who move to New Rochelle, but people who are from New Rochelle, you'll have a better sense of cooperation between the community at large and the police force. Because that's what you need today. When you have the police just going out with their arrest and incarcerating mentality, you're going to have a level of distrust. When you have cooperation and people working together and people knowing that the police are, in addition to trying to arrest people, but also to uplift people and enlighten people, and you have people working with the police, I think that's what we need, and we need the city to work together in that respect. When you have criminal prosecutions, a lot of times people don't want to cooperate with the police, and it's hard to actually convict people. I think by having residents, not people who move to New Rochelle, people from New Rochelle as police officers, that would be a tremendous benefit. You know, you would see a huge reduction in crime.
Okay, we're gonna have
I appreciate it. Just a lot of discussion about trying to save money and taxes and stuff. Some years ago, there was a commission in Westchester County to try to reduce government and consolidate services. New Rochelle chose some years ago to go the opposite way and create a new taxing authority with the library. I'd like to know, first of all, for both people, do you think that that was a mistake, creating an entirely new tax obligation for the taxpayer? And would you be supportive of the idea of looking into consolidating management and control of the Board of Education, the library, and the city under one aegis and authority so that you can save a few dollars?
Mr. Rice.
Save a lot of money.
Yeah, well, one thing I don't want to do with my candidacy, I'm not looking backwards. I'm looking forwards. What happened in the past happened in the past. I'm not going to judge anybody as to what actions were taken years ago. Well, one thing I believe in is that we do need to consolidate services, and particularly with the county government, you'll see that there's an overlap of different things being done. I think that's the way that we could reduce expenditures and lower property taxes. So yes, I am in favor of consolidation, but I'm not going to judge anybody's decisions from the past. I'm looking towards the future.
Were you here when that decision was
Mr. Parente.
made? Wanted to know what you thought.
Mr. Parente.
I've been here since 1986.
What did you think? Was it a good idea or a bad idea?
Excuse me, we're pressing
Oh, I just wanted to
time.
know what he thought.
He answered the question. Mr. Parente.
I was not in favor of the library tax. I think that we should be able to hold our own and support our library through other means of the budget. And I do not want to see any of the libraries closed. I think the services should be open to all. Consolidation, I think, is well worth looking into to get rid of any overlapping of expenditures or overlapping of two people doing the same job to save money. So I would be interested in looking into the consolidation, and I was not for the library tax.
Okay, absolutely last question. Goes to Ms. Paul.
I'd like to ask a question pertaining to the new proposed 10-story. I own a dormitory that is from in the area of Iona College. We welcome the students, we welcome education, and those of you who know our history in the city know that children have been my #1 priority and youth. So it's not that you're anti-education. I served as president of the board there, so I certainly believe in education. However, there is such a thing as oversaturation of the neighborhood. And because we have been patient, we are now dealing with the possibility of a 10-story dormitory. Now, when the Board of Education sold our property to Iona, there was a stipulation that Iona said that they would keep that property in a certain order. Now, you can read yourself, you can get a copy of that from the board. It states exactly what the requirements were. At this point, they're talking about sitting a 10-story dormitory right on the side there where the old Mayflower School was, that parking lot. Well, now you're really talking, our neighborhood's going to be further saturated, further noise, further disrespect of our properties. So what would each of you suggest, and it will come to the council, if you were to do it?
Mr. Parente.
First of all, I am not for the dormitory as it stands, especially at 10 stories high. There are many students around. I've been living in the neighborhood for 9 years on Brookside Place, and we hear noise at night. We see trash all over the place. We see a lot of activity going on, and some disorderly activities happening. So first of all, to answer your question plain out, I would not support it as is. I think that Iona needs to, although they made North Avenue very, very beautiful in the last 2 years and did a lot of work over there, I think that they should start paying their own way. I think that there should be some kind of service charge that Iona College should be paying to the city of New Rochelle for the services that it receives, as we can use that money for the community and the direct community of District 3, a matter of fact, that they've been getting away for so long with without paying taxes.
Yeah, as well, I'm against that plan as it stands today. I believe that the issue is a density issue. I think that the area is too dense, and when you look at the surrounding neighborhoods, you have several quality of life issues that suffer as a result. With regards to extra garbage, extra noise, less parking. Parking is an issue. I live on Brookside, and as well as Peter, and there is no parking on that street, especially when you get close to North Avenue. Any development that comes that takes away one parking spot, I'm not for it. I think that it's not fair to the residents in the surrounding areas, because they're the ones who actually suffer, and their property values decrease, and what you get is a lot of kids come into the area. So I think that the project needs to be spread along more. We don't need 10 stories in one place, and we need to save the residents from that area the burden of shouldering that project for the city of New Rochelle.
Okay, now it's time for the closing statements, and Mr. Rice will go first.
Let me stand up for this. This is me. I'm Jared Rice. I've had an opportunity to speak with you briefly today. A lot of people didn't know who I was before today, and I encourage you to not judge me on what you might hear about me, but actually reach out to me and sit down with me and have a conversation. 30 seconds already?
No, I was
Sit down and talk with you.
Sit down and talk with me. At the end of the day, you have character and you have reputation. My character is what I'm focusing on and what I want to be judged by. My reputation is what other people might say of me. I have no control over what people might say of me, but my character is my character. On November 2nd, we're going to have an opportunity to make change in this community, and we're going to have an opportunity to fill in, to and work together and accomplish what we need to do. What inspired me to get involved was 2008. Our presidential election, Barack Obama inspired me. He brought out that ambition in me that I didn't even know I had. And that's what I've been doing, that's what I've been seeing as I walk around the community. I'm inspiring people. I'm a young guy who's doing something that ordinarily wouldn't try to be done. Whether you want that promotion to your job, whether or not you want to get your GED, whether or not you want to get your college, whether you want to graduate from college, that's what it's about. I want to bring out that, I want to inspire people, and I want to bring out that ambition to everybody else, because we have a lot of untapped energy and a lot of untapped talents in this community, and that's what it's all about. Thank you.
Thank you again for this evening. We really appreciate you having an opportunity here to meet you all and address you all. Again, I've been in this district for 9 years. I'm a homeowner. I feel like I know what's going on the streets here in District 3. I care about it. I'm a Marine Corps veteran. I love this country. I love this city. I've done a lot in the community with the veterans here at the American Legion Hall and with the Memorial Day Parade and with the 9/11 services. I've always been giving back to the community, and now I want to bring that energy to City Hall. I want to bring some common sense to City Hall. It's been lacking a lot of that. And the current administration, I just want to reiterate, the current administration has been following a path that hasn't been very rewarding to most of us. All of us in District 3 throughout the city. So if we keep making the same mistakes, we're going to keep getting the same negative results. It's time that we head into a new direction of fiscal responsibility, smart development, and lower property taxes. If I gain your support, this will shift the tide from politics as usual to let's make a difference. With your help, we'll get things done. This election is not about me, it's about you. I'm asking for your trust. I stand before you very humble, and I need to earn it, and if I earn it, I will honor it. Peter Parente, City Council, District 3.
This concludes our candidate forum. I really enjoyed the spirited debate, and I thank you all for coming. Right now, I would like, before you leave, I see that Susan Kettner has arrived. She was the other candidate for City Court Judge. I just want to give her a chance to address the audience. Before we break, I want to bring up our illustrious president of the NAACP New Rochelle branch, Ronald H. Williams.
First of all, I want to thank everybody else for coming out tonight and giving up your time to listen to the candidates. But it's very important that everybody goes out and vote for the candidate who you feel is the best candidate that's going to represent you in this election. Because this election is very important for District 3. This election is very important for the city, for the judge. You got to make sure you get your people out there to vote. You tell your neighbors, you tell your sister, your brother, you get your little kids, you tell them all to go out and vote in this election, because whoever you vote for, whoever is elected, will represent you for at least 1 year. The judge will be for the next 10 years. So, and we want to make sure that people go out and vote. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for coming out tonight.